Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Circle the Ring podcast. I'm the host of Devious One I've been C, here alongside with my brothers from another mother. I have Mr. MGC, Matthew Steamboat, and also I have the CK1 himself, Chris Kenner. And today we have a special honorary guest that is joining us, and that is the slices of all slices. He is a rookie, SoCal Uncensored, Rookie of the Year 2019, and he is current,
That's awesome.
current Fist Combat World Heavyweight Champion. That's the man himself, Mr. Slice Boogie. How are you, sir?
Yo, what up? Queens in the building. Slice Boogie. Call me the king of the concrete jungle, man. That's how I get down.
Love it. All right. Mr. Boogie, let's go ahead and get to start off. Let the viewers and audience know how did it all begin for you to get into professional wrestling? Who do you idolize? How did it all start for Slice Boogie?
I was pretty much born into wrestling. Like my brother's 8 years older than me, and he was born and raised in Puerto Rico. So they would actually go see like Puerto Rican wrestling. Like wrestling is big in Puerto Rico. I've never watched it, Puerto Rican wrestling. But so when he came over to America, he was watching WWF mid to late 80s. I was born in mid 80s, so it was on the TV as soon as I was born. So I was watching it my whole life. I used to have matches in the project, like playgrounds. There was like rubber pads. We would have matches, but I never thought of becoming a wrestler. Like it was never a reality. I was big into sports, basketball. Then I started running the streets, and it wasn't up until like 3 years ago. I saw like I was on Tinder. I saw a girl in a wrestling maneuver, and I was like, "What is this? Is this real?" And she's like, "No, it's a wrestling school. It's legit." So I went to a one-day tryout, and the rest is history.
Oh, wow.
And then I took off. I was able to I was one of the fastest graduates ever at Santino's.
And Santino's awesome. Was she a wrestler there, or was she just a fan?
Oh no, she was a student. She's a wrestler now. I'm not gonna blow up a spot. We never dated or anything like that. But she was just like a student. It was like a picture of her in a submission, but as a student. Like she wasn't a pro yet.
Right.
Yeah.
That's definitely a swipe type of profile picture right there, because if you don't know what you're looking at, you're just like,
no. So she was in a Texas Cloverleaf, and I know what that is. So I'm like, what the fuck? If another girl had her in a head scissors, I'd be like, oh, this is some porno shit. Like,
that's what you would think if you didn't know any better.
Nah, she was in a Cloverleaf. I was like, oh, what is this? Like, they're not gonna. No one's doing that in the streets. Yeah. No one's doing that in the streets. Even if you're playing wrestling, no one's gonna do a fucking cloverleaf. You're gonna do a figure four before a cloverleaf.
That's right. That's true.
You mentioned that you were already here I'm assuming in the LA area when you were swiping and you found Santino's.
Yeah. I moved to LA in 2015, and I didn't start training till 2018.
Okay, and
it wasn't even on my radar, wrestling.
Right. Was that just because you didn't think about it, or was there a lack of schools where you were from? Because you said you did like to wrestle just in the streets, so.
No, but I was wrestling in the streets when I was like 12, like when I was like 13,
so there was
14.
A gap.
Yeah. And I stopped watching wrestling for a long time. I didn't fall back in love with wrestling until like Kenny versus Okada won.
Woo!
That's when I fell in love with wrestling. I would watch it periodically. I'm a big Undertaker fan. I would watch the big matches, but it wasn't like when we were younger, I'd say like 2000, early 2000s, once Cena and them took over, like I fell out of love with wrestling.
Yeah, there was a gap I missed. There was a gap I missed also during the spinner belt era where I just couldn't, and then NXT came back. NXT actually brought me back full force, and I've been back ever since. So I feel you on that.
I like that Kenny is the one that brought you back, because Kenny is really the one that brought me back to it too. Though there's something about him that's just like magnetic. But what would be something from like New Japan that like really inspired you? Like since you watched those matches, like have you been into strong style ever since watching that, or like have you like absorbed anything from strong style, or thought
I learned about All Japan is King's Road, which is basically strong style with a different name. So I learned about All Japan, like I had Dreamcast in 2000. And I had like a Dreamcast with like a mod so I could play the Japanese games.
Like Fire Pro?
I knew about Fire Pro before that, but I got a game called Giant Graham 2000. It was an All Japan game. And they had video clips. So that was the first time I ever saw like the Gonzo Bomb, like all the crazy stiff matches, Hansen blasting people. So I was aware, and once that I started buying like All Japan tapes after that on eBay. So I've known about like strong style, King's Road for a while, and like I kind of base my style on that when applicable. Some people they're not with it. I don't blame them. But I'm a big fan of Ishii. I feel like he almost never has bad matches. Like
He's
Ishii
amazing.
Keith Lee is such a simple match, but it's such a good match. I'm a big fan of like strong style, more than like death matches and all that. I prefer just stiff shots, you know.
Just potatoing people left and right. Yeah, it's more realistic too. I think the storytelling pays off more in that style when you go ooh after even just opening shots, and you have these just real intense, just like brutal, like Okada and Kenny, like every V trigger he hit, I don't want to break the fourth wall, but I don't know how they faked that. Like he had to just take them for the effect, and one of the more realistic styles for sure in pro wrestling.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it fake because you really do get blasted in your jaw. It's just a whole different style. Like you're not getting punched directly in your jaw, but you're eating it. You're trying to absorb it.
There is contact for sure.
I've shown my friends like some of those matches, and they're like, "Nah, this is real. This is real." And I'm like, "Bro, it kind of is. It kind of not." But I prefer it to like. I enjoy comedy wrestling once in a blue if it's done right, but I want my wrestling to look real and to feel real.
Well, how do you feel about Lucha Libre and have you ever gotten into like AAA and CMLL and Lucha Underground and stuff like that?
I did watch some Lucha Underground, but I can't say that's like traditional Lucha Libre. Traditional Lucha Libre is, I can't say I'm like a big fan, but at Santino's it's a staple. Like we would have Lucha class every Tuesday, and I like incorporating it into my style. I feel like they're like probably the best high flyers in the world, if you think about it. They're running ropes. I've seen them do crazy stuff. I just never got into it that much just because the pacing, it's just not what I grew up on. You know, it's a lot of rolls, it's not as much drama. The drama is like, I can't really describe it. It's not easy to follow. They're just rolling around, and the fans, like if you listen to Lucha fans, they're just like, they're going crazy the whole match.
Yeah.
It's not like low point, like Japanese wrestling. You hear like 5 Japanese girls, and then when something happens, but it's quiet, and then something big happens, and the crowd is like, wow. That's like my favorite crowd reaction. Like when the Japanese people erupt after like 6 minutes of silence, that's easier for me to follow and enjoy. But I mean, Lucha Libre, I like it as a style. I don't watch the promotions that much.
Oh, okay. So you say you were like one of the fastest quick learners from Santino's back. That was what, 2018. So what was your first match, and how, like, who did you face in the first match, and how, like, how do you critique yourself on your first match before, moving on more forward and more forward? So how was it?
My first unofficial match was versus Jake Atlas. I had a mask on, and like, so Santino's would do private shows if you want to book a private show. So some rich guy in I don't know where it was, Downey, he had like a birthday party for his 2-year-old son, who probably don't remember shit. But he booked like Santino's, so we bring the ring, we wrestle a show in his backyard, big house. He had like a room dedicated to wrestling with belts and all the toys, and like a ring, like a mini ring bed. So he was a super fan. So I had to wrestle Jake with like a red mask on, and the idea behind that is if you suck, it won't reflect on you because no one knows it was you. Okay. So me and Jake had a match, but it went well. I didn't mess up. First match ever. Like I did a standing moonsault. It looked horrible, but I was just comfortable, in my own skin. And that was my first match. And Jake was always like my mentor because he noticed like I wasn't like most of the students who are probably realistically never gonna make it. Like 2 out of every like 30, every class make it. And then my first official match at Santino's was versus RJ Santos. We debuted together. We were in class together. It went well. It was just fun, man. It felt natural. And he's little too, so I got to toss him around like a little bitch. So
When you are booking your own match and going through what's going to happen, how clear are you? You like to work, I assume, pseudo stiff. Obviously, you're not in there to hurt someone, but you want it to look real. How clear are you with that in the planning process? And the second question I had regarding that is, there was an old school tradition that I was sort of taught when I wrestled very briefly, that when you meet someone that you're going to work against, when you shake their hand, the pressure of that handshake is like your secret signal determining how stiff you want to work in the ring. So a stiff handshake means you're going to potato each other. A light handshake means you're going to work light. Does that apply to most pro wrestling, or was that just like in my weird section of my indie life?
I've never heard that. I've been told, like, don't give too stiff of a handshake, like, when you, like, in wrestling. I don't know why, but, because, you know, like, in real life, when I've been around a lot of street guys and a lot of businessmen, you give a good handshake, not too much, but not too light. But in wrestling, I've been told, like, don't try to break someone's hand ever. Because even, like, the biggest guys will be like, you know, like, so I've never heard that before. And as far as the planning process, I only usually ask if you mind if I chop you. And then I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna chop the shit out of you. So if you want to give me one back, I think you should. Because I'm not, like, when I do chop, I try to, like, chop as hard as humanly possible. Sometimes the chops are weak, and then I mean, oh fuck, I gotta do another one.
Yeah, dude, that was brutal. When people miss, and then that second or third one are coming, you're just like, fuck.
So I just really, like, as far as planning, I don't really, like, I'm stiff, but I'm not dangerous. Like, I've got one person dizzy out of, like, all my matches with a forearm, and that's only because I tried to do some stupid shit. But,
no worries.
You got to be stiff and safe. Accidents happen, but I try to steer clear of those accidents.
Cool.
And you don't really tell anybody, like, yeah, like, let's get stupid. It's like, all right, we're just gonna brawl. We're gonna brawl, and then you feel it. Like, if someone hits you, you just want to match it, you know. But usually I set the tone, like. But if someone, like, punches me in my jaw, it's never happened. I don't know how I'd react. It would probably, like, turn into a real fight.
And then turns into a shoot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Note to self. Fuck. Cool.
Go ahead, Matt.
Oh, so, like, you were talking about your moveset and, you know, how you work. How would you describe your finisher? And, you know, the name of your finisher, how would you come up with it? You know, why'd you pick that as your finishing move? You know, things like that.
I mean, I feel like that's not even. I feel like I have so many hidden moves right now that I'm saving. I have shit up my sleeve no one's ever seen, but I'm just saving it. You know, I'm trying to get my knee healthy, but I have moves that I've never seen anyone do, like counters and stuff like that. But Statue of Misery, I don't know. I just try to think of something I've never seen anyone do.
That's
I remember Goldust used to do the curtain call, and I know, like, Balor, other people would pick someone up and just drop them straight down. I forgot what he calls it, but I never saw anyone spin, you know?
I'm looking up, Santino Bros has a highlight of it right now, and I'm looking it up right now. Oh, you're talking about, okay, it's a curtain call. Yeah, it's a sit-out curtain call. Devon Dudley did something similar to that.
Oh, did he? Yeah. I feel like I never saw anyone do it.
Yeah.
It was just cool to me, but
Well, you do like in this video, you're doing like a 180 with it, which is pretty cool.
If someone's small, I'll spin more. But
nice.
I've been learning recently that people don't always take it well. So I've been doing it lately, and it hasn't come off clean. So it's like, do I want to keep it?
Oh, dude, the one you did on I don't know who this is. He's wearing the Irish outfit. Oh, that's sick. Yeah, you do like a full 360 with him. I don't know. He's wearing a bunch of green.
Is he little?
Yeah. What's up?
Is he tiny?
He's smaller than you for sure. He's wearing green socks. Kind of looks like Fit Finley's kid. Doesn't have a list of who the opponent is. But if you type in Statue of Misery on Google or YouTube, it's like the second video.
Yeah,
it's a cool move.
Yeah, I think it's cool, but, like, a lot of people have been telling me that my pile driver looks way better, like the Gotch pile driver.
Right.
I call it the dead ass driver because when I do hit that, like, I feel like it looks like death. And I no matter who it is, unless they're like 400 pounds, I'm gonna spike somebody. I'm gonna spike somebody, and
I'm gonna watch this right now.
Yeah, I just think it looks more brutal. So I'm kind of want to like use that as a finish, but I don't know. I mean, I have other moves up my sleeve, but the Statue of Misery, it was just something I came up with, you know? It was just,
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't something I saw anyone using as a finish either. Like, I'm so tired of people using the spear, fucking 100-pound guys using
Super
the
kicks.
spear. I mean, super kick is cool. Super kick is cool, like in the midst of a combo. I don't mind super kicks. But spears, bro, I hate. It's like one of my least favorite moves.
Just
And then everyone wants to do the suicide dive through the ropes every match. I'm just tired of the same old shit, you know?
Yeah.
Do you watch other indies and even big leagues and just take note of what not to do because you see it so many times?
Yeah, I mean, certain things catch my eye, you know. I try not to blatantly steal, but like you gotta borrow, you know what I mean? This is all like an art form, you know. You gotta borrow certain stuff, transitions, things like that.
Yeah. Do you avoid also, like I said, when you see things, you're like, oh, I'm seeing too much of this right now. Like, you know, the Canadian Destroyer was hot all of last year. Super kicks as a transition were hot last year. Do you see patterns and trends that catch on and just try to go the other direction? Like almost
I try to be kind of different. I mean, there's some moves that everyone's gonna do. Like I like my German. I'm gonna do a German. Everyone does a German. You know, some things I'm gonna stick to. Snap suplex. I mean, it's a generic move, but like if I do it well, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? But like I do the spear well. I blasted people with a spear because they asked me to give them one, and I just hate the move. You know, it's also like it's like. I don't know. Like, I feel like not as a fan, but just like as a wrestler, like if you don't like a move, you shouldn't do it. You know, it's like, what's the point? There's no enjoyment. You know,
I agree.
It's like,
there's no passion into it. When you do it, it's just like,
I want to do moves that I think are cool. Every move doesn't have to be a finishing crazy move, but there's some stuff that I do like. You know, like a boss man slam is simple. I always like that move. I could do it to like anyone like 300 and under, you know, and it's a big move.
Oh, definitely, because you're gonna make it more impactful the way how you deliver it, and so that's all.
I try to like put some oomph in my moves, and if I'm not feeling it, I'm not gonna do it.
Definitely. Also, I wanted to ask, so how did the name Slice Boogie came all about?
So I've had that name for like since I was like 16, you know, in the streets and projects in New York. Yeah. So I couldn't come up with a wrestling name. I was like, what am I gonna name myself? Like I was gonna go with like some type of mafia name, but like I'm not Italian, so that don't make sense. Yeah, like I couldn't think of a name, and I'm like, yo, fuck it. Like I'm using my street name. I'm using I've been Slice Boogie half my life. You know what I mean? And my character is me. You know, just off 10 cups of Henny. Like I don't have to be an astronaut. I don't have to be a fiend. I don't have to be a cowboy. I'm me. I'm New York project drunk. You know, I mean, my character is not drunk, but that's how aggressive. That's how aggressive I get. Sometimes when I drink, I'll get aggressive and I'll be a bully. I'll be a mean guy. You know, I'll be disrespectful. And so, like, that's what my character is. You know, I didn't have to think of anything. I just incorporated Slice Boogie, my name. When we would train, I would just roast people in the middle of the match. I would just have everyone laughing because usually usually they're like, "Don't talk shit, don't." But like a lot of people are bad at talking shit in the ring. But I would always make the trainers die laughing. So they motivated me to just talk all the trash I could, and that became part of my like character. But that's what we do in real life. I'll make fun of my friend's sneakers. They'll make fun of my hairline. And it's just regular. Yeah,
and you do that during actual matches now too. Like you'll suplex someone and be like, "Get up, fool," or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's easy. I haven't. I mean, I've kind of lost it a little bit. I feel like I've lost some of the trash talk. I used to talk way more trash like when I first started, but I gotta get back to that. I've just been careful about not cursing. You know what I mean? Like on TV.
Yeah, that's
like
hard.
if you see me like at an indie show with no rules, it's a whole different ball game. I'm cursing a lot, like not a lot, and I'm saying off the wall stuff like.
You could say the F word in New Japan. I've noticed that them being able to say like F word and like shit in New Japan.
Oh, I'm waiting for the call.
That's I'm waiting for that. I'm looking forward to seeing you in Japan because man, I mean your style of wrestling, bro. Like I'm being straight. It's just big fan of your work. Love it. I love the fact how you you know, how you implement a lot of your heavy hitting matches. So that's why I love the one you had with David Boy Smith Jr., that in Limelight you had, even with our other brother, Ray Rosas. So, I mean, I've been watching your matches. So, I mean, I'm a big fan of your work.
Thank you.
I see, man, you compete in a lot of different promotions, like, you know, from Fist Combat. Obviously, you're the World Heavyweight Champion there. You see Ground Zero, PCW Ultra. Even one time in Ring of Honor, I believe. So we were teaming with Chris Bay. By far, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if you keep in count, but it looks like you had over 56 matches overall throughout your career.
I literally have a website that's got, I think, exactly.
I don't think those websites, I feel like those websites miss out on a lot of matches.
I believe so too. I believe so
They
too.
miss out a lot because I've seen, I don't really look at it, but I've seen like, I guess only certain promotions get like advertised. I think I've had probably at least 100 matches, man. But like some, like to start my career, some of the small promotions, you know, little lucha shows, I'm probably pushing more towards 100 matches.
By far, which match was your favorite? You know, out of all your matches, which one is your favorite by far?
That's tough. I felt like I proved the most in my match with Carl Fredericks.
Ooh.
Because that was like one of my first times. That might have been like one of my first times on TV. And then it's live pay-per-view. And then you have a time to keep. And obviously this guy has way more experience than me. And I feel like the feedback for that match was really good. I mean, creatively speaking, I would have went a little like different. Maybe like I would have done a little bit different, but like he's the veteran, so you kind of follow his lead. But I feel like I proved that like someone who wasn't even 2 years in, like, oh, this guy is not a fluke. You know what I mean? He's not where he should be, but who is 2 years in? A lot of people are terrible. Whereas 2 years in, I'm on pay-per-view. I'm bringing it to this guy. Not the most polished. I'm still injured, but I feel like I proved that even though I'm not a young man, I'm not a 20-year-old, I feel like it proved my future is bright, and I just got to keep getting better and better. I'd say that was my favorite match as far as proving that I'm like a real fucking professional wrestler. Because I wake up and I don't even feel like a pro wrestler sometimes, you know? I'm not like signed to a contract. I'm wrestling sporadically right now, 2, 3, 4 times a month max. But it hasn't hit me that I'm a professional wrestler. But after that match, like people were telling me, like, you just went at it with New Japan's top American, and you stood toe to toe with this motherfucker. So I say that was my favorite as far as proving myself.
Definitely.
Was that a moment where do you feel it's more important to prove it to yourself than to the fan? Obviously, that's almost a silly question because, of course, I would think to yourself, but also to your opponent who you said was veteran status. You're in your eyes green compared to him, but still held your own. Is there a moment that you just feel like you have proven to everybody, including yourself, that you are the next big thing, either at Santino's, in your area, like to the world? Or do you still have a specific
moment?
Or do you have a goal or like your eyes on a moment where you feel that can possibly happen?
I feel like the moments just come and then it's on to the next one. You know what I mean? Like fucking 4 or 5 months in, I was thrust into like an angle with Cross and Bob Holly. I went to a show, Maverick Pro Wrestling, to like be like just help out as security, move chairs. This is what you do when you start, you know? Can I just help? Maybe I'll get a spot on the show. So I went from that to like talking to Cross before the show. He's like, we heard you could talk. How about you come and talk shit to me and Bob Holly while we're talking? Because they were arguing, they were talking to each other about their match. So I interrupt. No one knows me, and I just start talking shit to both of them. Cross clotheslines me. Holly clotheslines the shit out of me. And then during their championship match, I come in, I low blow both of them, and I'm like 5 months in. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
I don't know what I'm doing. So like that was a moment for me, you know. And then R.I.P. Shad Gaspard, I got to wrestle him at a show.
Nice.
Like it's these, and then these moments, you know, they just build, and they don't always do what you want to do. Like I wrestled at GCW. I felt I did well, but I haven't been like asked to return. but that was a big moment for me. There was a big crowd. It was a scramble match. You know, those matches are kind of stupid to me, but it was still a big moment. You know what I mean? And then working TV championship, and then working pay-per-view to like my most recent match, Davey Boy Smith. This guy's a third generation. Like, you're fucking shitting me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just moments build on moments, you know, and I'm waiting. I get to wrestle Miranda Alizé on Saturday. Granted, she's not Davey Boy Smith, but she made a name for herself. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to up my competition and wrestle bigger names. You know what I mean? Because even like, as soon as my career started, like I've never been the one who was put in like matches with horrible talent. Like, they're like, we're not going to waste your talent. Like, we want to put you in versus good guys. You know what I mean? So I'm just waiting to get more shots and wrestle bigger names and prove, you know what I mean, this guy could hang with the best of them. You know what I mean? He's learning. He's learning on the fly, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you have that spark where you feel if someone doubts you, you have to prove them wrong, and you do that? Like you said, each match is a goal you've attained, and it grows and grows. Do you constantly just feel like, not that you're being held back, but you're just being doubted by you said you are definitely had a schedule for someone who's been wrestling for so short a time that you just constantly have to prove to the veterans that you do belong there? Like, is that just like a fire inside you have?
Nah, it's not really that, because I've been, like, since the start of my career, I've been given so much good feedback, you know what I mean? And it's almost the opposite to where, like, I don't let shit get to my head. You know what I mean? I have, like, people telling me that I'm great, this, and that, but I know I'm not fucking Kenny Omega. Like, that's where I would want to be, like, one of the best wrestlers in the world. And it might not happen because I'm not going to be able to put 20 years in. You know what I mean? When I'm 20 years in, I'm going to be fucking 50-something. But
Ric Flair, man. No,
yeah, I mean, I do have character. I do have character. The flips will have to stop. But I just feel like, you know, I don't feel like I've been doubted by veterans and people putting me down. If anything, it's been people bigging me up, and I just have to prevent myself from getting a big head and thinking I'm better than I am, or not taking advice. Because a lot of people, they have one match and they think they're like the fucking they think they're Ric Flair. Like, get the fuck out of here. You have one good match. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I've had like a classic 5-star match yet. So who am I to get a big head? I don't feel like I have to prove anyone wrong, but I just feel like I have to respect the business and get better. You know what I mean? Match by match. It's a lot of these guys get into this business and they're immature. They're kids. They don't understand. Sometimes it's not all about you. It's about the show. It's about what the promoter wants, the story. You just got to be able to conduct good business, make yourself look good, make your opponent look good. Like, I came up to Davey Boy like, yo, if you want to clothesline me, I'll backflip on my face. He said, fuck it, yeah. And like, a lot of guys wouldn't be willing to do that. You know what I mean? A lot of guys, they want to look, I want to look too strong. Like, all right, am I going to look strong against a 270-pound monster? Yeah, but like, I got to make them look stronger. You know, you have to have a mind to make everyone look good. Yeah. And I expect the same in return. He didn't have to have a 12, 15-minute match with me. He probably could have had a 4-minute match with me if he really wanted to, but he did me the favor. I'm doing him the favor.
That's a solid teamwork mentality. And we're talking about like types of matches you've had and like good and bad. The question comes down to, what's the most dangerous match you've ever had up to this point? Like, you know, either whether weapons or maybe types of moves you've taken, you know, like a match you've probably been in the most danger in so far.
I've never felt like I was in like too much danger. I had like a brawl with Nick Gage. I beat Nick Gage. That was like my first title defense. But we kept it to tables, chairs. I've had a couple matches, but like I haven't had any like dangerous death matches. I don't feel like that doesn't really. I've been in like dangerous like shootouts. Like I'm not. Like, I don't consider wrestling dangerous.
So he means like literal, like with a gun, right?
No. I'm like, I've been in the streets like dead serious.
Yeah. He didn't mean like a shoot match. He meant like a shoot.
No. I mean like I've been in like crazy situations. Like this is a blessing. So I don't consider wrestling dangerous. I mean, to be honest, the most I get hurt is in training, trying stupid shit, like trying to front flip on my feet, like Ricochet. Yeah, I could do it, and then I bust my knee. But in terms of regular wrestling, I haven't had any like dangerous matches. People hit me, you know, I hit them. That's how it goes. Tables, whatever. thumbtacks, whatever. You know, I'm not really a fan of the barbed wire, all that. So when I was
You're
like
a pretty safe worker.
Yeah, when I was like 12, I was playing like wrestling in the lobby, and like I don't know if you could see, I almost died. Like
I was like a shark bite, bro.
yeah, like so like I tried to put my friend in a figure 4, and he like turned me down, and like my arm went through a window, and like I almost like my shit was open. I could see my veins and all that. That's the most danger I've ever been in a wrestling match. When I was
How
12
old were
years
you?
old.
You said you were like 12?
Yeah. Well, I was in 7th grade. Yeah. I had like 50 stitches. Like
Damn,
they said that if I would have cut the artery, I would have died. So
Yeah, Jesus.
Jeez. You were able to stop the bleeding just in time.
it was. I remember I went to my sister. I was like, "Do I need stitches?" Because it was stuck because of the blood, and then like it eventually just opened. Bleh. And my sister was like, "Yeah."
That's brutal.
And then I started crying like a little bitch because I was scared of stitches. I
No
wasn't
shit,
scared
man.
of blood. I was scared of stitches.
Yeah.
Were you feeling dizzy a little bit? Well,
Nah, but the worst part about it was when I did get to the hospital, like they had to like flush the glass out with cold water, and it was like literally cold water on your bone. And
Oh, dude.
it was
So,
painful, bro.
You can't. I don't know if you can
describe
see. You can't really see much on camera, but I have a giant scar right down the middle here from going through a plate glass window. And she had to pick every shard out with tweezers one by one.
Oh my god!
And they were in my gums because I'd gone fatty serum, my nose, dude. So the
Was that a
glass,
wrestling match or was that?
no,
like
this is just me
car
being drunk.
crash?
No, I just got drunk.
Being drunk.
Yeah,
Well,
I just ran through a glass window when a floodlight turned on and scared the shit out of me. I wish it was a wrestling story. But yeah.
I mean, drunk stories are just as good, if
Yeah,
not better.
but I remember she had to grab every tweezered piece of sharp, like the tiniest, chewing on glass, dude. So like, I feel your injury is definitely like way worse in my opinion, but I understand like the glass and the tweezers and the stitches. Yeah, my first stitches ever, I got like 70 of them all at once, so it's not fun.
So, question now. If you have the option to choose a promotion and an opponent, your dream match, and what promotion will you have it?
One dream match? Fuck, that's hard, man.
And that can be somebody like right now, like on the indies, or if you got like if you want to go ahead and pick Kenny, like just go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to wrestle Kenny, but like I want to wrestle at WrestleMania. Like, let's be serious.
With a
like,
crowd.
what lives on forever, you know? I like AEW. I would love to work. I would love to work. I mean, it would have to be like a Wrestle Kingdom or WrestleMania, and I don't think that would be possible with Kenny. I would have to go with like AJ at WrestleMania. There's no way I could have a match with him right now, and it would probably be good because he's that good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like foolproof. I mean, Kenny would be a dream match too, but like AJ Styles WrestleMania, like. It would get no better than that for me. You know what I mean? That would be like pure, like just. It would. I would say Undertaker too. He's like my favorite of all time, but he's gonna fuck me up. You know, AJ will sell for me a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Is there someone on the indie scene right now that you've been kind of hoping that you just got booked, just happenstance? You're like, oh man, I can't wait to wrestle this guy, or someone who's on the immediate radar that you'd love to call out?
Not really call out.
Not you know, I don't mean like, you know, like a promo or anything. I just mean like it would be cool to wrestle this guy from
like an indie, like
Yeah.
not signed. Who's not signed? I like Dickinson. Ooh, I like Dickinson.
yeah.
I think we'll fuck each other up, man.
Oh yeah, that'll be a fucking hard-hitting
And he
match.
talks shit too. I think it'll be like. I think it'll like please those strong style fans. Me and
Right.
Dickinson.
Oh, yeah.
He's in contention for the Primetime Live Championship.
Right.
I'm not quite there yet. I just got smoked by Davey Boy, but I'll get my momentum up. I would love to face him. I think that would be worth the $80 if we wrestled on that show. You know what I mean?
and the slice of pizza, man.
Yeah, bro. So
$80 and a beer, bro. That's how I used to get paid.
Yeah,
Not even $80, bro.
I feel like it'll be a good match. Who else do I like on the indies? I haven't been watching many indies. I like Juicy for now. He's like from NorCal.
Okay.
He's like a big boy, like I don't know if he's Samoan or whatever. I haven't been watching too many indies, you know. I just like hard hitting guys. I'm not the best technical wrestler, And with my school closed, I can't even work on that shit. You know what I mean? The bad thing about this whole pandemic right now is I've been stuck with the same moveset, with the same. I haven't been able to get better. I've only been getting better through matches, through trial and error. As opposed to training, I could learn so much. You know what I mean? Even like the little nuances of technical wrestling, and I'm not able to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
this is a very similar situation that our boy Ray Rosas went through, where his school, NPW, had obviously shut down, reopened. They kind of edited a training program for social distancing where they were just doing like calisthenics and cardio. Then they shut down again, and I think that's where we're at right now. Has Santino's had an ebb and flow of what they've been able to do, or have they just had their doors shut the entire time?
Nah, it's been shut, and then we actually lost the building that we had. We lost the building we had like months ago, so we'll never get that building back. But they've been doing online classes. I've helped coach some of them, but it's like, you know, mainly promos. It's all the psychological aspect that we learn at the school anyway. Right. But I guess they're pumping that out there now so that when the school does open up, at least those students are ready to get in the ring and rock and roll. You know what I mean? They'll have a better head for the game. Right. Even though some of them will take that bump and get the fuck out of the school, I'm sure. People quit all the time.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. So, obviously, you like New Japan a lot. Would you consider, even though the doors are open, I'm assuming, you know, would you consider actually if they would actually give you a call? If New Japan
Hell yeah. I would consider any like big company giving me a call right now. Like, will I sign like a horrible contract? Probably not, you know. And you kind of do have to like all these good wrestlers have to sign certain contracts just to like, even if it's a year, you know.
Yeah.
I could cut my teeth for a year. I'm not the youngest guy in the game, you know what I mean? But I have to cut my teeth. You know, I can't just be on the indies and be like an indie darling. It doesn't work like that. I want to be booked to a major company. Ring of Honor, Impact, AEW, you name it. New Japan, NXT calls me, yeah. I'll be the oldest guy there. You shitting me?
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, before this whole global pandemic happened, during the time when you were, wrestling in each different promotion, any funny stories that ever happened? You don't have to throw names out there. You can just say, you don't want to, throw them under the bus.
Funny story. There's so many funny stories, bro. I can't even think of a specific hilarious story. I can't think of a specific funny story.
Oh, no worries.
No, that's
it's like the fun times are usually just like with the boys, like making fun of them and shit like that. I can't think of any outrageous things that have happened. I really can't. It just slips my mind right now.
It could be like the first thing that pops into your head too.
Let's figure something else out. There's a variation of that. Is there? We already asked about scary stories, injuries. Nothing. Man. Was there a moment in the ring where you got a pop that made you really go like, fuck, I love this, man. This is what I do this for? Like one specific moment that happened maybe early in your career where you were just like, that's what this is all about, was that right there.
So I started getting pops early, like at Inoki Dojo, like a small little, it's not that small, but like the shows when I first started, it was the first show I ever worked, Inoki Dojo. So first time I ever worked, there was like 15 people there, 12 people there. But then like the whole crowd was going crazy when I was hitting these moves. And then like their shows started getting a little bigger and bigger. And I was always getting like those Japanese, you know what I mean? Like when I would do certain shit, pile driver, little moonsault, like the crowd would erupt. And I was like, oh fuck, this is what it feels like, even though I was full blown heel telling the crowd to suck my dick, they're still like, they're still like, giving me the pop that I want, deep down inside as a wrestler. And it's kind of weird. I want to be hated, but deep down inside, I want my wrestling to be loved. And I feel like that's what's happened for the most part, to the point where like even at Fist Combat, I'm not really a full blown heel. Like now I'm just like what up? Like it is what it is. Like sometimes it's like you're a bad guy, but like then it's like Stone Cold, you know, like you want people to dislike you, but they like you anyway. You know what I mean? They appreciate honesty over, you know, some fake ass nice guy.
I was gonna bring that up with Austin specifically. Is that I don't want to use the term marks, but the diehard fans are more conditioned now to love the anti-hero, because if the character is good, and I don't mean good or bad, I mean a good character, and the wrestling it matches that, then you will be cheered. You have that with so many versions of that, from Austin to you could say Becky Lynch to definitely like MJF and AEW. People are supposed to The Rock is one of the best anti-heels ever. As good on the mic as he was in the ring, a complete bastard in both, but people love that about him. And what you're talking about is you want to be loved for your wrestling, but you're a total dick in the ring as far as the character goes. But it's an honest – I'm not calling you a dick, but it's an honest version of yourself. You know, Ric Flair always said that you just be a version of yourself turned up to 11. And the honesty, I think, is what they're latching onto. So I think as long as you keep those two things even, that you'll be appreciated no matter where your persona goes.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget about the entertainment aspect. You know, I like making people laugh. You know, I've always liked making people laugh. But like, if I could make someone laugh and then I could make someone cringe because I'm working stiff, like if you touch all these emotions, it's like, wow, I got all that out of a wrestling match. You know what I mean? This guy made me laugh, and then he made me boo him, and then he made me cheer him. Like when I wrestled Nick Gage, like when I came out, everyone was booing me. But like by the end of the match, they were cheering me when I won. You know what I mean? And I didn't do anything specific. I just held my own and talked my shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't understand the entertainment aspect. There's a lot of wrestlers, way better technical wrestlers than me, with no personality, zilch. Like you could pick 10 and they're all the same. You know what I mean? Same move set, trying to be like Will Ospreay, copying everything he does. Corny as hell. And you're not gonna do it as good as Will Ospreay ever. You know what I mean? So
I know Will Ospreay has personality, and now it's more like
he could talk his shit too. So it's just like people need to remember we're trying to entertain here. You know what I mean? If it's specific, like Ring of Honor Pure, they have like this specific technical wrestling. Fuck all the like the glitz and glamour. It's pure wrestling. Yeah, I respect it. But a lot of people try to do that, and it just doesn't work out for them.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that 100%. Let me ask you this question. Obviously, obviously, as we're seeing these, modern pro wrestling is changing a lot, and we're seeing a lot of promotions working with each other different, going back to the old days territories kind of wise, How do you feel about unionization? We discussed it well, we asked Ray, we asked Danny, so, how do you feel about unionizing? All the talent, all the performers, you guys unionizing, unionization. Think it's a great idea or bad idea? Will work, or how do you feel?
I don't really know, because I haven't been through the process of being signed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know the benefits.
That's totally fair.
I don't know the benefits of being an independent contractor in WWE and how it affects your bottom line, how this and that. You know what I mean? I don't know if unionization will lower your pay, raise your pay. I don't want to talk about some shit I don't know, to be honest. Right. It sounds good on paper. You know what I mean? It sounds good on paper, but you never know. There's unions that have been shady and corrupt. I was part of like an asbestos removal union. I did that for 6 months. And these guys are shady as hell. This guy had like a fucking Winnebago with 13 TVs. Talking about he doesn't have money. Like it was, so you never know. Yeah. I feel like it could benefit a lot of people, especially when it comes to injuries. You would like to get a promise of your security,
right?
Especially now, like even as an independent wrestler, like I'm like my knee has been fucked up for like half my career, a year. And like if I blow my knee out, I might be done. As opposed to like if I sign a contract and blow my knee out, at least maybe that independent contractor contract could have some. Some relief. I don't know. I can't comment on it. But it sounds good. We'll see what happens. I would like wrestlers to be more protected. I know that, but and not have to pay for their own fucking surgeries. I know that much.
I agree 100%. That's 100%. Now, one last question, which I've been looking at Championship Wrestling Hollywood. So, what's up with you and Bodega?
I don't know, man. Danny's asking to get punched in the face. Man. He's lucky Capo came at me correct as a grown man. But we'll see. Upcoming episodes, we'll have to see what's going on.
That's right. We have to wait to see what's going on. We got to stay tuned. Now, before we actually, head out over here, let the viewers and audience know where can they find you, your social media platforms. Just go ahead and let them know.
Slice Boogie, SLICEBOOGIE. I'm on Twitter and Instagram. I have a Twitch. I haven't streamed yet. I don't know why. That's Slice Boogie Pro, PRO. I'll probably start streaming soon. I'm so fucking bored. If you can watch me get killed in Warzone and slay my controller, it'll be worth it. Yeah. Other than that, I'm most active on Instagram. Twitter, I'm on it, but I don't know. Twitter, I'm only on it because of wrestling. Twitter has been dead. I had Twitter in 2012, man.
Yeah.
So y'all can follow me on both of those, man.
That's right. You heard it right, ladies and gentlemen. I want to go ahead and thank you, Slice, for coming on today to the show. Appreciate you very much, brother.
Thank you guys.
I appreciate you
so
much
man.
love. Oh yeah, definitely. So you guys can watch Slice Boogie on United Wrestling Network. You can watch it there on FITE TV. You can also watch him on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, Championship Wrestling. Check your local listings as well. We will have the description below with the website and also his social media platforms. And keep an eye on Slice Boogie because you might see him, you might see him in New Japan.
You might see me on your TV real soon, like on TNT or something like that, USA or something like that, or Axis, or I don't know.
Exactly right, Access TV, or you never know, AEW Dark, or maybe NXT. Well, we never know.
Well, hope so.
That's right. Well, once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right.